And we welcome you to Race Day 8 live from Lewis Downs. Beautiful Chamber of Commerce Day in Gainesville, Florida for I believe, the fourth race day here at Lewis Downs this season. And we're going to be here for a while. Got 5 race days, including this one coming up, leading up to the Lewis Sprint Championships. And like I said, weather is perfect, conditions are perfect, and we've got some good races for you. A couple claiming races. We've got a maiden race as well. And for more details on that, I'll send it over to Chris.
Thanks, Jimmy. And yeah, it's the fourth race day at Lewis Downs. We'll be here for the next, this week, and then, well, let's see, 5 weeks in a row. That fifth one will be the first ever stakes races at Lewis Downs. Let's do a recap of the big last 3 days. So the Triple Crown is over. That's maybe one of the bigger, more important parts of the calendar. The Breeders' Cup meet will be our big finale at the end. But here's your winners. The Kentucky Derby was Lemke. Beach Carrot won the Preakness, and Lemke in the Belmont Stakes. There's also big money just for finishing in the top 3. Brett had plenty of those. Jesse's Supply and Demand got in the top 3 there a couple of times, and Christian got in the action with She Rode Sassy in the Belmont. Beach Carrot never finished worse than second. It was a very successful couple days, or 3 days for Nate and Brett. Nate used some chat GPT to make some art of Lemke. And how great is this? Lemke in the winner's circle after the Kentucky Derby. Yes, I'm going to add a link on the homepage to fan art and other, I'll call them frivolities. They'll be there probably no later than early this week, and this will be one of the feature things on there, but we got some other art and things that came into, as well as accompanied with a song about Lemke written by Chat GPT, which is phenomenal. All right, but there were a couple other stakes races over the last 3 weeks, smaller prizes, but big prizes in the grand scheme of things. Brett's Runt won the Kentucky Oaks, and the Met Mile was won by We Don't Say That, owned by Casey. So congrats to them. The other top 3 finishers, Showtime, Chips Medallions, Apology Accepted, and Embellishment. So on these, I'll say lower tier stakes races from the last 3 days, there was quite a bit of success for Casey and Brett. Jimmy and Kalen also getting in on the action. Just here's what we looked at, the standings from we looked at this last night, and then I'll update it here after the Belmont. Nate goes from second back into first, leapfrogging Brett. There's a few things I wanted to highlight here. Before, on the far left is after day 4. That's before any of the Triple Crown races. Brett was in 10th. Nate was in 8th. They both climbed quite a bit over those last 3 days, of course, with their big wins. They're up in first and second. Johnny, who was in first place, had 7 wins. If you fast forward to now, 7 is still a ton of wins, but I might say that he's stuck at 7 wins. He hasn't added any since then. And Andrew was able to leapfrog Johnny into third place. Johnny's in 4th. You can see, the biggest fall there, you hate to emphasize, but the biggest faller over the last 4 weeks was Macy, who fell from 3rd to 7th. That's 4 spots. All right. I was lucky enough to get an interview with the newest owner who's taken over Walt's stable, at least for the rest of this year. And that's Charlie. Charlie, thanks for joining us.
Hi, good evening. Well, thank you for having me.
Great. Do you have anyone else there with you?
I do. I have my stable manager here.
Oh, good deal. All right. Well, yeah, thanks. We want to welcome you. Thanks again for joining us. So the question is, you're taking over a stable that's currently in 9th place. We're more than a third of the way through the year, but there's a lot of racing left, including a lot of stakes races. Against that backdrop, what would make this season a success for your stable from your perspective?
Well, I'm confident. I am curious to see how this week goes, because this is my first week of, entering horses into races and requesting a couple claims. So I'm curious to see how I do. But, ninth is okay. I think it would be nice. A good goal would be to finish in the top half at the end of the year, right? And I only have one win right now, but I'm only $100,000 away from like sixth place. So I'm not that far off. I think if I can get a handful of wins and finish in the top half of the stables at the end of the season, I would be very happy. But my stable manager has some great ideas that I'm very enthusiastic about. And I'll turn it over to her. It's Miss Colleen, my stable manager. Colleen, please.
Thank you
Great.
so much, Charlie. Well, we're hoping to go ahead and just build on the legacy of the stables that we are managing for the rest of this season. We brought in a new team. We've got new nutrition. We've got a new exercise program. And we're hoping that with those two new facets to the entire, stable, we're really going to just push forward and meet those goals that our new stable owner has put out there for us. So we're very excited. I'm really excited to do this because I love to redesign. And just as an aside, I come from a
long line of
stable.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Very serious stable managers.
she's a
Sounds
second
like.
gen stable manager.
Actually, third, come from a really long line.
Good deal.
But we are confident we will make Walt. We will make Walt proud from taking over his stable, and we will do well. I did have him sign the waiver that I was not responsible for tanking his team.
That's right. He did formally agree to not holding you responsible. That's true. That's not just a joke. Well, hey, thank you both for joining us. Thanks for your time and welcome again.
Thank you.
All right, Jimmy, I thought since the Triple Crown season is over, I could recap a couple early season, I'm calling them frivolities. The weather so far, we had rain in Saudi Arabia, of all places, on the first day, and no rain since. Like you noted, it's a Chamber of Commerce day here in Gainesville, no rain today either. And then injuries, there was an injury the first day, and I think it was the second race, and there hasn't been any injuries since. Day one was kind of unique and otherwise been kind of garden variety in terms of weather and horse safety, which horse safety, of course, is a big priority, and we like to see no injuries, but they can happen. All right, everyone's favorite segment. How about the Dark Horse Detective? Jimmy, who you got today?
Nice. All right, it's hard to follow the Charlie and you there, but and Colleen, but I'll try. The higher standards being brought to our horse racing fantasy league. Gotta love it. So my dark horse tonight is Prickly Pete, owned by Zach, who still looking for that elusive first victory. I think he's going to get it this time. It's going to be in the last race of today. Did have that place and a show before. Also, one of my favorite names, inspired by George Costanza's fake stable in Seinfeld. And what better horse to bring home victory in a fake horse racing league than a horse inspired by a fake stable. Prickly Pete in the final race, bringing home the victory for Zach is my dark horse today.
Nice. Yeah, Jimmy. Yeah, that's fantastic. As you mentioned, Zach is still looking for that first win. Maybe it's Prickly Pete.
Absolutely.
All right. That's
as
it
we
for
said,
the pregame.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
Thank you, Chris. Let's head out to the track on this beautiful day in Gainesville. As you see, families. Is this your?
I've forgotten to pull up the entry sheet. I need just a second.
Gotcha. No worries. Everybody getting settled in for our big race day here at Lewis Downs, back at the home track in Gainesville. And so we've got 9 races today. We've got a maiden race later on. Our first race is a claiming race. Just $20,000 for the purse, but 6 unknown horses. We'll see afterwards if any of them get claimed, but a couple winners in there, and 4 horses still looking for their first victory. All of them have entered 3 races so far. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and Jimmy, I think the clear favorite is Gunslinger. Has won before, has the best grade and the most career earnings, most prize money per entry. But they decided on the track.
Yes, they will. And out to that we go. So we set 6 horses. Ready to rock in our first race, and they're off. Gratitude, Gunslinger, and Prospectus out to the early lead, followed by Laos, Speakeasy, and Vibing. Gratitude trying to build a lead as they come around the back stretch. Laos now up into second, charging towards first. Gratitude still in the lead as we come down to the halfway point. Laos in second, Prospectus third. Gunslinger now coming up and taking over third. Gratitude still in the lead with the half length over Laos. Gunslinger now into second and charging hard, catching Gratitude now and passing him as we come down the stretch. Gunslinger in the lead, building that lead and slowing down a bit. Gratitude and Vibing, Prospectus all coming close, but it's going to be Gunslinger for the win, followed by Laos, Vibing, Gratitude, Prospectus, and Speakeasy. So it's the favorite Gunslinger with the win in our first race.
Yes, thanks, Jimmy. All right, there were some claims.
All right. Nice.
So we'll start. Let's see. There was a Prospectus. There were 3 claims on Prospectus, and Brett won the claim. There were 5 claims on the winner, Gunslinger, and Johnny won that claim. I also think this was the first attempt Johnny ever made to make a claim, and he's going to add Gunslinger to his stable. And then Laos. There were 2 claims for Laos, and Brett got that one too.
Wow. I'm just saying out the top of my head, I feel like Brett has won a lot of claims this season.
Brett in the chat he's very excited. He says he needs horses bad. He's got Prospectus and Laos. he's added them both. Yeah,
nice.
And we could check the claims log to see what kind of luck he's had when more than one owner has made a claim. But I think you're right.
Nice. Congrats to Brett, and congrats to Johnny on the first claim.
Yes,
1 for 1 there.
All right, race 2.
All right, our first allowance race of the day, and just 2 unknown horses in this one. Only 6, but we've got Nate's You've Been Warned, Chris got Pizza Slice, Zach's Wet Bandit trying to get him his first win, and Walt. That'd be Walt/Charlie/Colleen there. That ain't mine.
That's right. Yeah, a sprint race, only 6 furlongs. I guess you'd have to say by looking at it, Division by Zero is the favorite. He's already got 2 wins, or excuse me, she's already got 2 wins. 5 of them are grade H horses, though the other, I prefer to talk about the owned horses. The owned horse with a win is You've Been Warned. Nate's horse, our first place Sable in the number 1 post position.
All right, back out to the track for race 2. And they're off. Pizza Slice out to the early lead, followed by You've Been Warned. That Ain't Mine. Division by Zero, the Wet Bandit, Buttons and Zips in that. Climbing up into 4th. We've got a close one here in the back stretch. Pizza Slice. That Ain't Mine. Buttons and Zips in that, not far behind. Pizza Slice trying to build a lead. As we go to the halfway point, Pizza Slice now a half length over. Buttons and Zips in that, and the Wet Bandit. Wet Bandit now into second and pushing toward the front. About to take the lead, but did not. Pizza Slice felt the heat and builds that lead back up to half length as we approach the finish. Division by Zero, You've Been Warned, all in second. It's switching fast, but Pizza Slice is there. Division by Zero trying to catch. You've Been Warned with the late catch, and You've Been Warned with the late charge. Wins it for Nate, Buttons and Zips in that in second. Zach's Wet Bandit in third, followed by Pizza Slice, Division by Zero, and That Ain't Mine. You've been warned. Wow, what a comeback there at the end,
It really was.
especially
And,
for a short race.
yes. It really was. And you know, these are smaller races compared to the stakes races that got Nate up in first, but they all count. And I think, you know, he and Nate and Brett are pretty close to each other in the top two. And
Absolutely,
picking
yeah.
off little wins like this can be meaningful, I think.
For sure. Nate, the first with double-digit wins now, his 10th win of the season.
Good note, Jimmy. All right,
Good
race number
race.
3.
All right, let's go to the maiden race of the day. All of these horses, of course, looking for their first win of the season. This one much longer, 11 and a half furlongs on the dirt, but a bunch of F and Gs. So looking for a competitive race. I myself sending half the field or owning half the field. So definitely looking for a win here today.
Yeah, and I guess what you'd focus on is that there's 4 grade F horses. You'd call them the favorites. The 2 G horses are the only ones with top 2 finishes so far in their career. So I don't know, maybe it's anyone's race.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we've got a good one here. Another small field, just 6 horses. And we're at the track. We are off. Captain Whatnot with the early lead, followed by Nerd Alert, Boom Shakalaka, Sudden Burst, Genre, and they're in cahoots. Boom Shakalaka was about to be in first, now in third. It's a very close one in the back stretch. They're in cahoots in first. Boom Shakalaka now in first. Captain Whatnot not far behind. Boom Shakalaka trying to take a lead. But the Captain Whatnot and they're in cahoots not far behind. Captain Whatnot now in the lead, trying to build a lead as we come down the stretch. Boom Shakalaka about a half length behind. They're in cahoots right with him, and they're in cahoots into second. But it's Captain Whatnot trying to finish it. They're in cahoots falling behind, and Captain Whatnot gets the victory by more than half a length. Close race for second, and it's going to be Boom Shakalaka in second, followed by they're in cahoots in third. Sudden Burst, Nerd Alert, and Genre. 3 horses by Jimmy, but I could not get the win. The one unowned horse in the race, Captain Whatnot, with the victory.
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. Crummy race. The only unowned horse won. Congrats to Charlie on his first top 3 finish.
Woo!
Nice.
Yeah, I wish we could have gotten one of the owned horses to win, but it is what it is.
That's why they race the race. Chris.
That's right. All right, moving right along, I guess. We got 9 races today. Here's race number 4.
All right, race number 4.
3-year-olds
a little bit
only.
bigger, 8-year-old, or sorry, eight horses in the race. As Chris said, all 3-year-olds, $50,000 purse, and just 8.5 furlongs. And hopefully my boy Liberty, one of the F horses, might be a close one. Any favorites here? It's looking pretty close to me, Chris. What do you think?
Yeah, there are 2 that you would call more long shots. Eola's Ibar is a great G horse, and certainly Hobby Jogger, bless his heart, is a great K horse. But Eola's Ibar has a win. Of the grade F horses, the only one of those that has a win so far is Home Movies, owned by Christian.
All right, let's head out to the track. You said the 8 horses are ready to rock here, and they're off. Frush, Home Movies, Eola's Ibar with the early lead, followed by Liberty, Gadsden Tide, Evergreen Terrace, Hobby Jogger, and Inclement Weather. Eola's Ibar in first right now. Frush catching him, passing Home Movies, passing them. Home Movies now with the lead. Frush right there, and it's back and forth early. 2, 3, maybe even 4 horses now. A lot of horses, the whole field up there, switching fast. Gadsden Tide now trying to build a lead, but Liberty's not far behind. Frush in third. Gadsden Tide with a half-length lead as we come down the stretch, trying to pull away from the field, but Home Movies, Liberty, Evergreen Terrace closing fast. Evergreen Terrace closing even faster and passes. And it's Frush actually at the end with the victory, a photo finish, maybe even more than 2 horses in that photo finish. Unbelievable. Got to see a replay on that. As Nate's horse, a second win of the day for Nate, the 11th of the season. And wow, what a race, Chris.
Yeah, and you know, we had at this point of the race, it was our top 2 stables in first and second. And then the lead started to grow and it started to really look like Brett was going to have a chance to make up ground. Frush down in 4th at this point. And then Gaston Tide's lead grows even. Frush now
to
down
more than half a length or more there as they approach the finish. And
Frush down in 6th at this point of the race, down in 7th now.
Unbelievable.
And then let's run it. Frush charges, Gaston Tide kind of hits the wall, and then it looks like it might be Evergreen Terrace, if anyone.
Say, did all the horses hit a wall except Frush there?
Well, Evergreen Terrace was charging, but not quite as fast, and so that was that close to being Charlie's first win. But Frush said not today, and then Gadsden Tide ended up falling to 5th. Look at this for Gadsden Tide, which Brett notes might be important for the standings. It could have been 1st and 7th for our top 2 stables. Instead, it was the other way, 1st and 5th.
Unbelievable finish. Definitely one of the closest of the season.
Fun race.
And again, congrats to Nate. 11th victory of the season, 2nd of the day.
All right. We got, yes, congrats to Nate. We say that a lot.
We do.
All right. Let's go to race number 5. It's on the dirt, 9 furlongs, Jimmy.
All right. Little more horses in this one, a 10-horse race. Once again, I've thrown 3 horses into the mix to try and win some kind of a money here. And a lot of E's, also a F and a G. So probably looking at another very close race.
Absolutely. I will note that there's 3 winners in this race. 2 of them are grade E horses, so you might call those the favorites. That's Capiche and No Comment, Jimmy, owned by you. Red Scamper out of the 10th post position hasn't won any money yet. That means in his 2 races, he is yet to have a top 6 finish. Maybe this is his chance.
Perhaps it is. And let's go out to the track and see.
All right.
As the horses get ready for our 5th race of the day. And they're off. Susanna, Dungeon Master, out to the early lead. Chips and Medallion now heading up into 1st. No Comment, not far behind. Susanna still in 3rd, followed by No Thanks Diplomat. Capiche now up into 3rd. Dungeon Master in 4th. Whoville now up into the top 6. Stalwart Persuader and Kumquat Aficionado in the back. No Comment now into 1st as we head past the halfway point. All 3 horses owned by myself in 3rd, but not for long. No Comment still in 1st. Dungeon Master now into 2nd. It's looking like No Comment right now with a half-length lead. Dungeon Master and Capiche closing the gap, though, and it's Dungeon Master taking the lead. Capiche also catching No Comment. It's looking at Dungeon Master and Capiche as we go to the finish, and it's Dungeon Master, owned by Walt and Charlie, with the win. Capiche in 2nd, followed by No Comment, Whoville, Chips and Medallions, Red Scamper, Susanna, No Thanks Diplomat, Stalwart Persuader, and Kumquat Aficionado. Congratulations, Walt, Charlie, and of course Colleen as well.
Yeah, hey, congrats, guys. First win.
Nice.
Hey, well, no, hey, Red Scamper got a top 6 finish, so that's some earnings for Red Scamper.
There we go, getting on the board. And doesn't matter, you can throw as many horses as you want. It doesn't mean you're going to win there.
That's right.
3rd, 4th, and 6th there with my horses. But great race there. Race number 5. Let's go ahead and get to our 2nd claiming race of the day, race number 6.
Yes.
Needed 27.5 grand. Grab one of these bad boys. And got Walt and Charlie there with Her Majesty. And Chris, you've got Trivia Night there along with 4 unknown horses. It's like Her
yeah, that-
Majesty, probably the favorite.
Well, so Kalen's trivia night is the E grade horse.
Yeah, I don't know the alphabet.
Yeah. So she might be the favorite. She is very fatigued. You might remember her from a couple race days ago. This is her 6th race already. I think was she undrafted? I think she was. Well, she was owned by Andrew a couple weeks ago. Kalen made the claim, and now she's here in a claiming race again. After that, though, I think Her Majesty is the G grade horse from Charlie's stable, would be most likely to upset.
Gotcha. Yes, thanks for correcting me. Not only is it Kalen's horse, but also the favorite, Trivia Night. As we said, just 6 horses here in the race, and it looks like we're ready and we're off. Amplify, Let's Not Say We Did, and Trivia Night, the early lead, followed by I'm Mad at You, Berserk, and Her Majesty. Let's Not Say We Did in first as we come around the back stretch. Berserk now catching him. I'm Mad About You now up in the first at the halfway point. The unknown horse is dominating right now in the top 4. I'm Mad at You now with a half-length lead. Berserk not far behind. Amplify in third. Let's Not Say We Did it in fourth. But right now it's I'm Mad at You and Berserk. Amplify trying to make a charge. Berserk into first. It's a 3-horse race. Trivia Night trying to make it a 4-horse race, but it's Berserk right now with the lead. As we head toward the finish, it's Berserk with the win, followed by Amplify, I'm Mad at You, Trivia Night, Let's Not Say We Did, and Her Majesty. Big race for the unowned horses. Any of those getting claimed, Chris?
Yes, we had a couple claims. I'm Mad at You, the 3rd place horse, was claimed by Christian. And Trivia Night was claimed by Charlie. So switching stables again.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Kalen, did you say you never vibed with Trivia Night?
I would say that. And I feel like another inexperienced stable owner has made the same mistake I did, but I hope it works out well for you.
Well, Trivia Night maybe does need some rest, but has had some success, even when fatigued. And it's a great horse. Maybe Charlie will be happy with it.
Nice. So would that be our first horse that has had 3 owners?
I think so. And I wanted to check.
Not to put you on the
also-
spot there.
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
While you look, I'll vamp and say that Trivia Night made me a pretty good amount of money. I think I won 2 races and then sold at a profit, double what I paid, I think.
Let's see here. So Trivia Night was drafted by Andrew. And
You got
then
all the money out of her.
And then
That was good.
claimed by Kalen for 8,000. And I think got 1 win for Andrew and a 2nd place finish for Andrew. And then was claimed by Kalen and then now claimed by Charlie. So that is 3 stables. I don't know if that's the most. But Journey Woman.
Sure, there you go.
All right, let's look at race number 7. We got 8 entries in that.
All right, let's do it. Another allowance race, 9 furlongs on the dirt. And some quality horses here, just B's, C's, and D's. One of my horses, Jazz, looking for his first win, along with 4 horses from Macy's stable.
Yeah, Macy's the stable to watch here with the 4 horses. That's half the field. Pernicious, the B grade horse, is the only B grade horse, would probably be the favorite. Executrix has a win for Johnny, one of the 7 wins Johnny has, but so she's had success.
All right. And I don't want to point out every time, but I'm going to point it out this time. Zach's still looking for his first win with Distracted. Maybe this is the race.
Could be Distracted's turn.
There we go.
All right.
All right, the 8 horses are ready and they're off. Ginkgo Winker with the early lead, followed by Executrix, LMNOP, Pernicious, Distracted, Ambush, Jazz, and Immortal Glow. Winker maintaining the lead. Element OP right behind. Jazz making a charge as we're in the halfway point. Winker with a half-length lead. Pernicious now into second. Jazz in third, followed by Ambush, and Immortal Glow. Macy's horses dominating the race right now. Winker still in the lead. Immortal Glow takes over second. Ambush into third. Distractive's climbing up there into third. Executrix now in third. It's Winker. Executrix now in the lead as we approach the finish. A 2-horse race. Distracted trying to make it a 3-horse race, and Pernicious making a 4-horse race and taking the victory late over the field. Pernicious with the win. Winker not far behind in second. Distracted in third, followed by Executrix, Element OP, Immortal Glow, Jazz, and Ambush. I think I need a drink of water after that one.
Yeah.
There's a
was
lot of very confusing names there.
There's some tough words there, yeah. Well, good to hear from Andrew there too. Macy said, "Oh, Macy's here too." Macy says, "Ambush is for sale." All right, Ambush is for sale. But congrats to Macy on having the first and second place horse in a $75,000 purse race. Pernicious the win, Winker second, and while Jimmy gets some water.
Tongue in cheek there for Ambush, I believe. Last place finish.
Let's look at this replay of this finish. This is where Pernicious is when we're that close to the end. Executrix in first, and then that's when it becomes the 4-horse race. But there's still a lot of ground for Pernicious to make up. And then at this point, everybody flips. Everybody flips here.
A 4-horse photo finish. Unbelievable.
Look at this. Executrix to fourth. Actually, well, you can see how close they are. They're all just about tied. And then it sorts itself out.
For sure.
Exciting race. Great finish.
What a race. Thank you, Chris, for the wonderful names of horses here.
Maybe I'll try to lay off the tongue twisters.
No, all good. Love the challenge.
All right, we got 2 races left.
All right. Getting some bigger money here. $75,000 purse for our penultimate race of the day here at Lewis Downs. On the turf, just a 6-horse race. I've got another 2 in there to try and get a victory, but Sapphire Surge looking like the favorite, and Fever Pitch not far behind there as a D-grade horse.
Yeah, Jimmy, that's about what I was going to say. Sapphire Surge is the favorite, is the grade C horse, and is undefeated. Okay, 2 entries, 2 wins, has never lost before, and just on paper looks like the horse to beat. Fever Pitch would look like to be the most likely to pull off the upset. But all right, let's head to the turf track.
Let's do it. As we said, 6 horses ready to rock here. And they're off. Fever Pitch, Results May Vary, and Charmer out to the lead. Sapphire Surge up into second. Fever Pitch still maintaining a lead. Renegade Chop and Charmer in third and fourth. Results May Vary and Comrade not far behind. It's Fever Pitch now back into the lead. Sapphire Surge in second, and Fever Pitch leading. As we're past the halfway point, Sapphire Surge, Renegade Chop, Comrade, Charmer, and Results May Vary. Fever Pitch building that lead slowly as we come down the stretch. A full-length lead for Fever Pitch. Renegade Chop, Sapphire Surge, Charmer, a very close race for second. Sapphire Surge trying to make a charge, but Fever Pitch with a full-length win over the field. We've got a close one for second, back and forth, and Renegade Chop with the late charge into second, followed by Sapphire Surge in third. Results May Vary in fourth, and then Charmer and Comrade. Congratulations, Zach, with the first win of the season. Fever Pitch bringing it home.
Congrats to Zach. I love it.
All right.
All right, I'm breaking this one down. All right, so after I saw this result, I went and I looked. I think Fever Pitch has a killer instinct. Look, if you go to the stables, this has not been updated with today's races. You look at Zach's 15-horse stable. Fever Pitch already had the most career earnings for him. Was top 3 in every race that he's been in. Zach does have a grade C horse and a different grade D horse, but this was the one that I don't know, that wanted it.
Yeah.
He was actually the most tired horse in the race. But it
But
was
it didn't matter. He's a champion.
yeah, it didn't matter. I think and it was 7 furlongs on turf, which he loves. Zach put him in a race where he could be successful. I think Fever Pitch heard the other horses and the other people around the stable talking about Zach's stable. But he's always pushing. You know, he's always top 3. He's been close before, and in this one, he had just had it. He heard the talk about Sapphire Surge, and I think he's got a killer instinct. He fell out of first place just briefly here, and he said, "No, I've had it. There's enough of this." And Sapphire Surge, the undefeated horse, the better grade, was on his tail, and
Took off.
Fever Pitch had it. Congrats to Zach.
Nicely done. Zach getting in the win column with Fever Pitch as we head to our final race of the day. Crowd is ready. Final race here at Lewis Downs this week.
Right.
And just 2 owned horses in this one. Our second claiming race. Zach's Prickly Pete and Walton Charlie's the Velocitizer. And
Yes, and
what
we
you
got
thinking, Chris? The unknown horse is looking like a favorite, or should have another close race actually.
they are. You might say that the grade F horses are the favorites. The Old Elm Tree is one of those that has a win. It's a challenging distance at 11.5 furlongs. I don't know if the unknown horse is like that. We've also got Prickly Pete. Maybe Zach can make it 2 in a row. That's Jimmy's dark horse for the day.
All right, let's see if he can do it. Build on that first victory. Or will it be one of the unknown horses? Or perhaps Walton Charlie getting their second win of the day. And they're off. Seismic Shift out to the early lead, followed by Rise to Boat Sir. The Old Elm Tree now into second. Big John in third. Velocitizer in fourth. Prickly Pete climbing up into fifth. Seismic Shift, though, with a big lead. Big John half length behind. Prickly Pete now up into third. Rise to Boat Sir not far behind with the Velocitizer and Old Elm Tree as well. Seismic Shift, though, still with a big lead. Big John closing. Velocitizer also closing. But still Seismic Shift in the lead the entire race, but it's getting close. We've got a 4-horse race. Seismic Shift holding off everyone as we approach the finish. Old Elm Tree. The Velocitizer closing and taking the lead. That's the Velocitizer. With the lead, Rise to Boat Sir, Seismic Shift very close, and Seismic Shift takes it over at the end to win the last race of the day. Seismic Shift with the victory, followed by Rise to Boat Sir. The Velocitizer in third, Prickly Pete in fourth, the Old Elm Tree in fifth, and Big John in sixth. Congratulations, Seismic Shift. Any
Yes,
of those unknown horses claimed, perhaps the champion, Seismic Shift?
None of the 6 horses were claimed. No claims in this one. Disappointing last 1 second of the race or so for Charlie, but congrats
Right.
to Seismic Shift.
What the heck?
Yeah. Walt had to get used to that with all those second place finishes, but Charlie already had a win today.
Just some crazy finishes today.
There were some fun ones.
Yeah, first place pretty much. Yeah, first place races during the race did not guarantee anything there at the end, as a lot of horses finishing strong. So go ahead and take a look at the standings after our 4th race day at Lewis Downs.
Should do it. There you go.
All right,
Made up
Nate
over
Stable,
2
the
million.
first. Yep, there you go. First one over 2 million with that 10th and 11th win of the season.
Yes, and I don't think I've updated this for costs going into day 9. So if his costs are about 36,000, he'll fall below 2 million before we start the next day. But there it is. You can see we got down here next to Zach, a number 1 in the win column.
Very nice, very nice.
I think I'm
Jesse's still looking for that first victory, but in 6th in the money right now. Still,
I think next week next race I'm looking for for a big return after taking a week off. So I'm coming for some money.
Let's do it. Let's see it. Andrew will have a better rested stable after taking the whole week off. Yeah, quite a few fresh guys. But we can talk about it off the broadcast. Jimmy, what do you say we sign off?
Sounds good. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks here at Lewis Downs.
All right. Have a good night.
Chris, I'm Jimmy. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good
Thanks,
week, guys.
y'all.
Yep.
See you next
Thank
time.